Hey yo guys, what's good, what's happening, what's going on? You probably hear the laser or the 3D printer going. Printing off another template for a knife blank here for Fight Club. This one's going to be a special one though. You can tell the blade's really thin, and that's on purpose because it's going to be used to cast with aluminum to make some aluminum blanks. But today's video is kind of a weird one. Well, not really. I just noticed on my camera the Intellicom guys showed up, and basically what they are is a delivery service. You probably have them in the US, but we have them up here in Canada, and they deliver mainly Amazon products. And I ordered from Amazon some products, and here it is. I took advantage of Prime Days, bought some things. I got something coming for Scampers that should be here tomorrow, and it's going to require some assembly, so there'll be another video made. But basically what I bought here is stuff to hopefully work with this GoPro Hero 12, and hopefully it works good. So I'm working from home. I got all my work done. That's the problem. I'm bored right now. If I was at the office, I'd be on Google looking up things and bored there, but I got to lower my efficiency, I think, because I tend to be blowing through work real fast. So I don't know, maybe that's a good thing. Also, in the last video, I was talking about how this camera was doing a weird flashy screen in the back. It's not doing it now, and I think what it was I had it plugged into the computer to download the files from the card, and I kind of left the camera running the whole time, so I think it was just hot. But let's go ahead and get into this box, and I'll show you what I got for the GoPro here. All right, so the first thing I got is a bunch of paper. Yeah, that's garbage. The next thing I got is this Dead Cat microphone muffle kit. Basically, it's got two-way tape, and you stick it over top of the mics, and then you stick one of these fluffy things over it, and it muffles the wind. I'm going to use that on the GoPro Hero 9 or 8, one of those two, and use that there with my chest mount. But for this camera, I bought a true wireless headset. I looked it up, and it's got good reviews for duration and the microphone on it. A lot of people said they use it for their work from home, and it sounds crystal clear on the other end. And I'm like, well, it sounds crystal clear on the other end, and it should sound crystal clear on the GoPro. And it was cheap. It was like 20 bucks on Prime Day, so dope. So basically, in the box, you get a box. Open her up, you get another box, and then you get the charging cable under here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Is that screen touch screen? No, just the back. There we go. So inside the box you get a manual, and I'm assuming USB-C charging, hopefully. Nothing should be using micro anymore. Yeah, a USB-C to USB-A charger. Oh, and you get extra ear things for your ears. In case you're like me and you have ears that produce more earwax than sound. Really got to go see the doctor and get them to put the pump in there, push all the earwax out. So basically, assuming this just opens up, there's your earpiece there. Now the case itself says the case itself is a charging case. That's cool. So the case is a charger, charges the unit, and the unit plugs in right here through the USB-C into your USB-C input. I have a desktop charger with 5 USB ports that put out 2.4 amps. So that's what I use to keep the GoPro charged and the batteries and all that. So I want it in my right ear. Basically like that is how I would do it. I don't need it to stick in my ear. I just need it to, oh, it's trying to pair right now. I'm going to turn off the GoPro. We're going to pair this up and see how it sounds. I don't know if this is actually working. So far, this is my third attempt and nothing. So we'll see how this comes out. All right, so I got the headset charging. I had some issues where the audio wasn't recording at all. The mic doesn't have any cues, or the headset doesn't have cues for if the mic is muted. I don't know if it's a pairing problem with the GoPro. I'm not sure. When that last audio clip was taken, it was taken with the mic and it came through, but I noticed something kind of neat that GoPro does that I didn't realize it does, but it does it, so that's kind of cool. So these are the before, and this is with the headset, and you notice how there's another audio channel down below? The top one is the mic, the bottom one is the GoPro mic. I didn't realize that this camera will multi-stream. It'll pull audio from both the microphone on the GoPro and the microphone on the headset. So that way there you can still get your ambient sound, and you can like kind of blend them in with the microphone on the headset. That's pretty dope. I didn't know it did that. And I'm guessing, judging by what I'm seeing here, these are the files on the computer. So that SFK file on the top one, that's the sound file. And then down below you can see 2 sound files. One of them is from the GoPro, one of them is from Bluetooth. That's pretty awesome. Also guys, I got done finishing my 3D printed knife, and I paracord wrapped the handle. So that's basically what I'm gonna show Coach tonight at Fight Club and see what he thinks. And I'm probably going to make a bunch of aluminum copies of this when I get my forge. I gotta order a forge. Anybody out there got a good suggestion for an Amazon forge? Leave a name down below. Don't leave, well, you can leave links. If you want to leave links to Amazon, if you can. I don't know if you're allowed to leave links on YouTube comments anymore. I think they stopped that for reasons of people getting hacked. But what I plan on doing with this setup here, I just used... Coach likes it when I print them in black because he wants the colors for the group to be black and red, which matches our shirts. Our clan shirt is this. It's like a bull. And on the back, it's the Presas Arnis, Modern Arnis, Combatant. So you got your 8 angles of attack and the Modern Arnis symbol. Sweet, pretty dope. So we're like black and red everything. So like even my Panantukan gloves, my shin guards, my helmet, all that, it's black and red. And when I decide to paint my face mask, I got to come up with a cool idea for a graphic on it. It's going to be painted with red paint because it's a black mesh, black metal shield over top of it. So I'm going to come up with some crazy face that looks pretty scary, and I'm going to paint it on with some Krylon and then use like UV resin or something to solidify it. That should work. But the reason why I used paracord on here is because this is just a dummy unit. It's also 10% infill, so it's kind of flexible, the blade. Probably won't take much, but when we do knife fighting or knife techniques, don't really go all out because you can really frig someone up if you did. Yeah, so as for that headset, I'm gonna let that charge. I think I'm gonna make the GoPro 8. Maybe the GoPro 9, I'll make it my chest mount cam, right? Yeah. Hey Scampers, say the weird thing. Cool. It's like those TikToks I watch on Facebook streams. But yeah, anyway. Oh, Jesus. I really got to put a bell on you, dude. She literally just ran underneath my foot. I almost crushed her. But speaking of cats, all right, it's officially been 4 weeks. So it was 4 weeks ago from this day that I brought Oreo to the vet for his last visit. And ever since then, like a week later, I've been getting random cats showing up on the property. Mainly this one cat. I got a bunch of security cam pictures and cell phone pictures because she's always around. I'm assuming it's a she, and I'm assuming she is packing babies. That or she's really enjoying all the moles and voles in the backyard and frogs and stuff. I don't know. Like ever since... I've been getting a lot of cats around here, but this one here has been hanging out a lot. I even found her in my garage this morning when I went to take the trash out. She got in because the door doesn't... I got to get on that door. I got to fix that and make sure that I can close it and lock it. Probably do that this weekend. Saturday's supposed to rain, so I'll just deal with it then. But been getting this cat showing up like crazy, and... I don't know if she belongs to somebody, but it's like the same thing happened with her, right? April 12th, 2013... My ex at the time decides that she wants Felix because I'm keeping Oreo. Meanwhile, she didn't want Oreo. So that's why she was like, well, you get the dog, I get the cat. And I'm like, no, and they're like a pair. They're buddies. So we can't separate them. Like, even though Oreo was petrified of Felix because Felix could just grab him around. Felix used to suplex Oreo. Like, it was bad. But Felix was just a big 22-pound unit. Like, he was a tank compared to Scampers. So, like, he used to just grab Oreo around the neck with his front paws and do this, like, flippy-floppy flounder attack and just send Oreo flying. He never bit him or anything, but he didn't also have claws, so he would do a lot of punches in the face and stuff. And he'd be like, he'd do the machine gun punch on Oreo, and all you hear is... and then Oreo would just look at me with his derpy face. But, yeah, it's been 4 weeks... Today, in about an hour, it'd literally be 4 weeks since we left here to go to the vet. And ever since then, this cat shows up. Like when Felix left, when my ex took him, it was just me and Oreo in the house for like 6 months. And then this shows up. Now it's like Oreo's gone and another animal just magically shows up. And it honestly reminds me of this meme I saw on Facebook about dog owners versus cat owners. Like a dog owner spends months to get their house ready for a dog, you know, goes out and gets dog toys and all that stuff. And then the cat owner's like holding the cat up in the air. I found this in a dumpster. And it seems to be the way. Like, if you think about it, think about how you got like Felix and Poofy, like these two guys right here. I got them from the pound. when I bought this house in 2006, the first night Dad and I moved a bunch of stuff into the living room. We moved in 2 couches and a futon because he just wanted to get rid of it. Now I just wanted furniture because I had nothing. I literally bought a house and had nothing to put in it except for the furniture that it came with, which was an old broken washer and dryer, shitty coil top stove, and whatever I had at the house. So I had like all my computer stuff, but I didn't have couches or coffee tables or anything like that. Hell, I had to buy a bed. I didn't even have a bed to bring because the bed I had over there was literally, I was sleeping on the floor in the basement on a this like chair that folds out into a bed type thing. They sit on the floor because I always slept downstairs because it was cooler down there and I could regulate my temperature better. So I had to order a bed from Manchester. So for the first 3-4 weeks living here, I didn't even have a bed, so I just slept on the futon, which was uncomfortable, but I was also 26, so could sleep in awkward places with the wrong pillow and not wake up broken. And nowadays, if I use the wrong pillow, I can't turn my head for a week. So yeah, the first night, like Dad's like, so you're going to be sleeping at the house or you're going to sleep here tonight? I said, well, I want to sleep here. Like the hydro was on, internet was hooked up, everything was good to go. I had everything I needed here. I had to run to the store and get some food and stuff because I had no groceries. So I just ran to the store and grabbed some food for the week. I was off that week as well. So sure enough, that night I'm sitting there and I'm sleeping on the futon in the living room. The way it was set up back then was I had a couch over here, a couch over here, a coffee table here. Over there was my futon. And then over here, I don't know if it was there when I started vlogging in 2009. I can't remember now. But the reason why this comes out, originally there was this homemade entertainment unit here that had a hole big enough for a 27-inch TV, some speakers up top, stereo unit in the center. I don't know even if I have pictures of that set up, but it was this makeshift thing with like bifolding doors, kind of like the ones that I have here in the entrance, like these types of doors, these bifolders. It had 2 of these on it, one on each side, and that's basically all I had for my entertainment center. And then behind it were the pipes that are now encased in that thing that Dad built, which is awesome because we relocated the outlet there because originally the outlet was just a box on the wall with exposed wiring. So I'm sleeping over here and all of a sudden in the middle of the night I wake up to and I'm like, what the heck is that? And then I look and sure enough a mouse comes running across the floor and I'm like, ah shit, mice. Well, I own my own house. Time to get some pets. Just had to clean up some cat poop. Oreo's gone now and the cat's taking up the role of pooping on the floor. I even cleaned your shit box. There's no reason for this. Anyway, as I was saying. So the next day, I was with my girlfriend at the time. She didn't spend the night here. She had to, I think she had school the next day or something. I can't remember. I think she was in college in Guelph or something like that. No, she was in town. She was at her parents' house. But she had to work from 9 to 5. So I was here. And I told her, I said, well, I want to go to the Humane Society to get a cat because there's mice in the house and nothing better to kill mice than a cat, in my mind. You know, they make mouse traps and shit now, but I figured, screw it, let's go get a cat. So my mistake, not really, but kind of sort of, was bringing her because that's why we ended up with 2. She wanted Felix, whose name was Grover at the time, and I wanted this guy because this guy, he was like my spirit animal. So we get to the pound, right? And we walk in and looking at all the different cats and petting them and stuff. And then the only one who didn't really pay much attention was the orange one. At the time, his name was Dorian. So I'm like trying to get his attention and stuff. And then he just looks up. So I asked the lady, I'm like, can I reach in the cage and pet him? She's like, just be careful. And I'm like, why? So I reach in the cage and I give him a couple pets and stuff and he starts purring and I'm like, oh, he's a sweetheart. But he's like laying in his litter box. He's sleeping in his litter box and he has his food and water dish pulled right up to the litter box. So as I'm petting him, I just see him do this flop head thing and start eating food, drinking water, and then he looks back at me and I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome. But then my ex at the time, or my girlfriend at the time, she fell in love with Felix. And his name in the pound was Grover. So she's like, oh no, let's get this one. This one's so much fun. Look at him. He wasn't even like, he was like a half a year old. He was just a kitten. I'm like, oh, but he won't be a mouser. Like, he doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. Like, he's just a little shit. And Poofy was 4 years old. And I felt bad. Like, a 4-year-old cat in the pound, they don't last. They get put down. If nobody buys it, they just kill it, and that's upsetting. So I go to the front counter and I'm like, hey, do you guys have like a buy one get one free or a buy one get half off or like anything? Like I want to get 2 cats. They're like, which 2 are you interested in? And I said, okay, well, I want Grover and Dorian. And they're like, oh, you want Dorian? I'm like, yeah. They're like, tell you what, just put a chip in his head and he's yours. You don't have to pay the adoption fee. And I'm like, really? Sweet. Turns out the reason for that is Dorian has been adopted in the past. He's a Maine Coon. He's an orange Maine Coon. Like, he was a friggin' beast. Amazing mouser too, by the way. Like, he murked so many mice in his first 2 nights here. Like, I called it. He was literally a barn cat at some point, I'm thinking. But he belonged to an elderly couple. They passed away. And then, what are you eating? You're chewing on the tape on the box of the cat litter. You're a special little breed. Yeah, anyway. So he belonged to an elderly couple. They passed away. And the kids ended up bringing him to the pound because apparently he was violent towards. Now, Poofy also didn't have front claws. He didn't have back claws. They did what's known as a quad declaw on this cat. If you ever wondered what declawing is, look it up. You realize they literally cut the front part of your finger off. That's what they used to do to cats when they declaw them. Vets won't do it nowadays unless you get a corrupt vet. But anyway, so, and apparently somebody else adopted him and brought him back because he was violent. Somebody else adopted him, brought him back because he was violent. I didn't know this until like 4 or 5 weeks later. We brought Felix into the vet to get him neutered, and the deal was they would do it there, but their vet wasn't in time, and I wanted to get him fixed before he went into heat, so I just brought him to the local vet and they paid half of it. I was like, whatever, I just want to get it done and over with. So got him neutered. I went back to the Humane Society and they reimbursed me half the cost, and they're like, so how are things going? I'm like, great, like things are awesome, like the cats get along great. And I'm like, and Dorian, now known as Poofy, or Sir Pooferton, because I was really bad at naming animals. Obviously, I named her Scampers. I'm like, he's an amazing mouser. Like, he's been on the ball. He's been dealing with the problem. Like, he's perfect. And I'm like, and he's a real cuddle buddy. And like, I'll be sitting on the couch and he'll just jump up and just curl up on me and start purring and stuff. And they're like, really? Dorian? And I'm like, oh yeah, he's the best cat ever. And then they told me the story about him being super violent with anybody who's owned him. And I was like, yeah, that's not the same cat. There is no freaking way in hell that is the same cat. So, but yeah, no, Poofy was awesome. My ex ended up rehoming him though, because Poofy didn't really care for her. Poofy only liked me. So when she moved in 2009, Poofy was giving her attitude. And then I saw what they meant by the, now what are you chewing on? Why are you chewing on pieces of plastic? You got food in your freaking bowl. You're special. So yeah, she ended up rehoming him. And then he ended up, the guy she rehomed him to, I was pissed off about it, but I couldn't really do anything because I was just a pushover back then. It took me a lot of relationships to realize to quit being a frickin' pushover, let me tell you. But I was a pushover back then, and I just let her walk all over me, and I just let it happen and whatever. At least we still had Felix. And then Oreo came into the picture like shortly after, and I was like, freak's sakes. Come home and I didn't want a dog because I wanted to travel, and all of a sudden she went out and bought a dog, and I'm like, oh my God. So now she had a dog and a cat and I had nothing. But yeah, so and then sure enough, when she took Felix, 6 months later, Scampers shows up. And then Oreo passes away 4 weeks ago. And now I got this new gray cat roaming around and hanging out on the property. I got video. I thought maybe she was just let out during the day. She's somebody's cat and they just let her roam during the day and bring her in at night. But I saw footage of her all night last night in the backyard, in the driveway, sitting at the porch. And I'm like, no, I don't want to get another kitty cat. Even though it might be good for her, I really don't want to get another animal. Not yet. Not yet. The history of me owning animals. Like, she's 11 years old now. Because she was, I'm guessing, born in 2013. And the vet misjudged her age. Because when I brought her into the vet to get her checked out and chipped and all that, they looked her over and said, oh yeah, you got like 4 months before she'll go into heat. And literally not even a month and a half later, she's doing the meows and the twerking and all that stupid shit female cats do when they go into heat. So the vet was wrong on the age. But yeah, friggin' random kitty cats showing up on the property. I figured they show up here because of all the voles and moles in the backyard. It's pretty much a feeding ground back there for them, but nope. I'm pretty sure somebody's looking to take Oreo's place in the house as puppy cat or whatever. Still no work came in, eh? Frig sakes. Today's a boring day. Thank God I got Fight Club tonight. Anyhoozle, guys, that's going to be it for today. I'm going to go ahead and shut her down here. Work ends in about an hour and 13 minutes, and then it's onward to Fight Club, so it should be fun. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you know what to do. Click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. And until next time, guys, peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.